Buccaneer fans, we got some good news for you. So, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have re-signed Ndamukong Suh to a 1-year max $10 million contract. Technically, right now it's nine, but it can get to a max of $10 million. So, basically, how that works is first, this was reported by Ian Rappaport. Ian Rappaport said this will reach a max of $10 million. And then other NFL Network reporter Tom Pelissero said it's $9 million plus incentives, which ends up turning it into $10 million. Ndamukong Suh was a defensive tackle, a starting defensive tackle last year. Obviously, if you watch NFL, you know who Ndamukong Suh is, whether you know him for how good of a defensive tackle he was in Detroit to whether you remember him from the dirty plays that he made back in early in his career. But it seems like Ndamukong Suh is really kind of like took in a backseat to obviously took in a backseat to dirty plays. He hasn't done them a lot in a decent amount of time. And he was obviously part of the 2021 Super Bowl team with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last season, I think he was very productive on his team. He had 43 tackles, he had six sacks. So I think that's pretty productive for a defensive tackle, especially 6 sacks, because defensive tackles don't get a lot of sacks. In this article, it was written by Kevin Patra around the NFL writer. So you know what, Nate, you start off first. Your thoughts on the Ndamukong Suh re-signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
First of all, I wish Dominic Sue the best of luck. Congratulations to him and the Buccaneers. Yeah, Mario. I've been saying it all the time. You know, the Bucks aren't messing around. They're rewriting their mistakes from the first time they won the Super Bowl. Like I said before, they won the Super Bowl. I can't remember the first time they won it. It was in the early 2000s. I can't remember,
Yeah, it
but
was 2002.
2002. All right. But after that, they didn't really make a playoff run. They didn't even make an attempt to recreate that Super Bowl team. The Buccaneers
Well, they
now.
had I remember the closest before that they went to was I think '07.
Yeah, yeah, that was before this year. That was the last time they went to the playoffs. But I'm talking about like the year after the Super Bowl. They didn't really
Right,
make.
yeah.
And as a result of that, the Panthers ended up their division rival. My Panthers went to the Super Bowl the year after that, and unfortunately, they lost to the Patriots and from a field goal. But that still scars me to this day. But anyway, not my point. My point is that the Buccaneers aren't messing around, dude. All right, and I was telling my friend Isaiah the other day when we went to Applebee's, he was like, "Oh, the Patriots got all these guys. The rest of the league ain't." No, I'm not gonna say that word. And I'm like, "Nah, dude." I was like, "Dude, I hate to say it, but you got the Buccaneers still, you got the Chiefs still, you got the Bills still. You know what I mean? But what separates those three teams from the Buccaneers is that the Buccaneers are keeping every single asset they have because they just won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And they're not, and they're gonna be, they're going to be getting later picks in the draft because they won two. I think they're the last pick. I think the last pick, the team that wins
Yeah.
championship in any
Yeah.
sport, yeah, I
That
think it's
was
the
the
last
last pick.
pick. So they're not going to be getting an early pick like the Jets and Jaguars and all the other teams are in the top 10. So obviously they got to focus on that. They got to focus on keeping all the assets they possibly can. I'm telling you right now, Mo, they're doing a really good job. Obviously, can they keep everybody? I mean, it looks like they can, but personally, I mean, you're not going to keep everybody, but what they're doing is they're looking into who's most productive. You know what I mean? Obviously, keep them there, and then the rest of them, you just figure out from there what you're going to do. That's just how it works. That's just how you make or recreate a Super Bowl team anyway. But obviously, the Saints are out of with Drew Brees gone. I don't know. I can't see the Saints being the same team without Drew Brees. And obviously, the Panthers and Falcons are kind of in a rebuild mode. So the Buccaneers are probably going to win this division. That's just what's going to happen. That's just what's going to happen. So, um, with that being said, I do wish Ndamukong Suh the best of luck. He's actually, even though he's 34 years old, he's still a really productive defensive tackle, in my opinion. Obviously, he was a key piece of the Super Bowl team, especially that very underrated defense. A lot of people thought this, myself included, a lot of people thought that was going to be a close Super Bowl game, but it wasn't. They made the Buccaneers made that very clear. It was not going to be a close game at all. And the Dominic Sue was a part of that defense. So kudos to him on that, and kudos to being a major part of his defense. So with that being said, congratulations to Dominic Sue. Not too much love to the Buccaneers, even though that's not gonna matter because the NFC South kind of sucks now. It's not gonna matter, but not too much luck. I want to see you damn people winning nothing. But anyway, aside from that, I do wish them both the best of luck, and I'll pass on to you now.
Yeah, well, congratulations to Ndamukong Suh on staying with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This was definitely a season he had to prove himself, and the reason why is because you look at what he did in LA. It's not the same stats. He had more tackles, but like sack wise, like he had like a sack and a half less. And obviously his role was very like I don't want to say minimized, but people didn't like in LA. He really wasn't looked at as how crucial of a player he was to that team. Obviously his best year was his rookie year when he had 66 tackles and 10 sacks, and then he had an interception at that too. But Ndamukong Suh was definitely a very big key piece, part of that front four. Obviously, you look at Shaq Barrett. You look at Jason Paul, JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul. Ndamukong Suh was, I felt like that third guy. You know, I felt like he did a very good job getting pressure on quarterbacks. He did a good job stopping the run. And that's been always his career. Ndamukong Suh, I feel like, has always been a very quality, productive defensive tackle. And this was a guy that I felt like the Tampa Bay Bucks, not that they, he was a guy that they needed to keep, but I was questioning whether they were going to keep him or not because of how many other guys they had to resign. You know, Antonio Brown is still a guy that hasn't been re-signed. But I was just questioning it. I was like, I wonder if they're going to re-sign Ndamukong Suh or not. And they got Ndamukong Suh back. And not only do I feel like they were learning from the first time around when they won the Super Bowl, I feel like they're learning from what the Patriots didn't do in regards to, you know, keeping Tom Brady happy, keeping your quarterback satisfied by building offensively around him, and then keeping the defense good too by keeping your key
Right.
guys. And obviously, the Patriots do good at that. Like their defense, when it's all healthy, I still believe is a top 10 defense in this league without a doubt. When they're all healthy, they're a top 10 defense. Obviously, last year, think about how many guys decided to opt out before the season started. Those guys are coming back, so that defense is going to be a lot better. But I feel like they did the exact same thing that the Patriots did defensively, which is keep that defense together. But I feel like offensively they're doing better than the Patriots by keeping that offense surrounding Tom Brady because he was very successful with that offense. You know, they had a little bumps in the road. Obviously, they lost twice to the Saints in bad fashion. They had a little couple times they choked when they had the ball, but the bigger picture was they were able to get the job done and win the Super Bowl. All that didn't matter last year because they were able to win the Super Bowl. So when you really look at it, I think the Tampa Bay Bucks are doing a great job just keeping that team together, you know? And who knows, in the draft, you might add a young guy who's absolutely great, you know? We don't know. We're going to have to wait till the draft comes. But the more guys that you are able to re-sign in free agency, the less I feel like you need, the less starting power I feel like you need in the draft, which ends up kind of saving you money and helping your team later on. Maybe you might trade those picks to get a player. Maybe you might trade to get even more picks and you build yourself depth on that team. Who knows? But I feel like the Tampa Bay Bucks are doing a great job in free agency right now. I think them and the Bills, I feel like those are the only two teams right now in free agency that are keeping the whole squad together. The only difference is Tampa Bay won it, Buffalo didn't, and the Buffalo Bills are missing one key piece. We don't know what that piece. I don't know what that piece is, but they're missing one piece, and it's up to them to find it out. But with that being said, I wish Ndamukong Suh the best of luck. I wish the Tampa Bay Bucks the best of luck, and it's going to be very interesting to see if they can repeat a Super Bowl.